Madonna, 1984. Hillary Rodham Clinton, Wellesley College, Massachusetts, 1969. The Apollo 13 splashdown happened on April 17, 1970. The beautiful Spanish singer, actress and bride Pepa Flores in 1969. Hindenburg explodes in flames at Jersey Naval Air Base, 253 on board. The mighty airship Hindenburg, pride of Nazi Germany, burst into flames yesterday at the Lakehurst Naval Air Station in New Jersey as the airship prepared to land after a transatlantic flight. At least 153 people were aboard. Subhead: Passengers leaped from burning ship. Many feared dead or injured. Passengers and crew leaped from the burning ship, some falling 50 to 100 feet to the ground as the airship exploded. Many were believed to be dead or injured. Article begins. The Hindenburg, largest airship ever built, was destroyed in a matter of seconds. The giant craft, which had crossed the Atlantic many times, burst into flames as it approached the mooring mast. The cause of the disaster was not immediately known. Flames quickly engulfed the ship's gas bags and the ship crashed to the ground, a mass of twisted metal and burning fabric. More. The airship had left Frankfurt, Germany, on Sunday, May 2nd, with a crew of 60 and 36 passengers. The ship was delayed by headwinds. It was scheduled to land at the Lakehurst Naval Air Station yesterday. Alright, so it's about Muhammad Ali and Sammy Davis Jr. It's from the 1950s. This is an ad for New, a hip underwear for men. It's from the 1970s. In 1950, a 23-year-old woman walked onto the courts of the US Nationals, which is today's US Open, and changed tennis forever. Her name was Althea Gibson, and by stepping onto that court she broke the sport's colour barrier. Joseph Stalin is with his son Vasily and daughter Svetlana in 1935. A policeman directs traffic in London fog with a torch in 1935. The Soyuz rocket from the 1980s at Baikonur in the Kazakh Soviet Socialist Republic. Jamie Lee Curtis and Jennifer Love Hewitt, 1998. A Czechoslovak soldier kisses his daughter before being mobilized during the Sudeten crisis, which was in September of 1938. Hachiko at Shibuya Station, Tokyo, 1933. Akita Inu Hachiko became a legend of loyalty. He accompanied his owner to the station and waited for him after work. Even after his owner died in 1925, the dog came to the station for 9 years. President Kennedy about to be forcefully fed 2 pounds of pasta in 1963. Girl talk at the corner of East End Avenue and 81st Street, New York City in the 1950s. Wounded veterans of the 1st Division, American Expeditionary Forces get ready to watch the Washington, D.C. Victory Parade on September the 17th, 1919. Kylie Minogue, 1989. July 11th, 1911. On the beach near the casino in Asbury Park, anyone up for a nice cold lemonade? Norma Jean Baker, 1946. Men's comfortable fashions from the 1970s. The Commonwealth Transantarctic Expedition hits a snag in 1957. Samuel Jackson, John Travolta, Bruce Willis and Uma Thurman are on the set of Pulp Fiction in 1994. Girls are examining a model of rayon stockings. They're called 731. They were specially designed for servicemen, and this is happening at a fashion show at Kennard's in Croydon, England in 1943. Let's talk about Lavery Valley, a Victorian strongwoman also known as Charmian. Ford made its 10th millionth car. This was in the United States in 1924. A flutist is on the road to Cusco. This is in Peru in 1954. Chief bone necklace of the Oglala Lakota Native Americans, 1899. Dali and Disney, 1957. Arnold Schwarzenegger sits on the shoulders of bodybuilder and future Playboy star Lisa Lyon. This happened in the United States in 1979. Queen Elizabeth visited the Terracotta Army in China in 1986. Winston Churchill, 1895. Pamela Anderson's posing with a friend at her home in British Columbia, 1985. Sophia Loren on a balcony overlooking the Eiffel Tower in 1956. (1890) Students are participating in a mock election at Beach Street Industrial School in New York City, and there are 3 female students outside of the school. Prince Charles and Princess Diana in 1982. farmers Max and Miriam Yazga, on whose land Woodstock was held the day after the festival ended 1969. A sailor carrying an armful of puddings from the 1940s. Sophia Loren taking off her stockings. She's in a dressing room. She's sitting down. She's wearing a dress. Her legs are crossed. She's taking off a stocking with her left hand. The other stocking is already off. Her right leg is bare. There's a chair next to her. There's a mirror. The photograph is in black and white. John Raab, a Nazi, during the Nanjing massacre that began in 1937, saw Chinese civilians. He would show his Nazi armband and shout in German to scare Japanese soldiers away, and then bring the civilians to the safety zone. The Romanovs, 4 daughters with their mother Alexandra in 1913. Musical Cat, Worcester, England, 1959. Ronald Reagan is posing with oddly casual clothing while working at his ranch, 1984. Buzz Aldrin jumps down to the LM footpad to become the second human on the moon in 1969. It's a jail cell from the Salem witch trials. The cell has one window, and it's got a wooden door with iron bars. Inside there's a straw bed and a small wooden stool. Dutch civilians are dancing in the streets after the liberation of Eindhoven by Allied forces in 1944. It's the Paris Metro from 1914. Dr. Clark's spinal apparatus. The device aimed to solve the problem of scoliosis while giving movement for the patient, unlike other treatments of the time, around 1878. Neil Armstrong's family, watching him launch to the moon in 1969. It's a Soviet engineering masterpiece, a snowmobile called the GMV-2. It was put together using parts from an airplane, the Il-28, and also from UAZ and Gaz vehicles. This was in Orenburg during the 1980s. So, in the 19th century people were really into bird hats. This guy lost all of his limbs during a battle, but he still managed to look cheeky for the camera. Civil War. Jose Raul Capablanca versus Alexander Alekhine, 1913. Adolf Hitler, who was 25 years old, enlists to fight in the German army. By the war's end, he'll have risen to the rank of corporal and earned 2 Iron Crosses for bravery on the battlefield. New York City Police Captain Albert Seidman helps a photographer capture the face of a murder suspect, 1962. They were laying down 8-inch shells. There were West Indian and Australian troops during the Battle of Ypres in 1917. American servicemen decorate a Christmas tree. Vietnam, the 1960s. Edgar Allan Poe is posing with Abraham Lincoln in Matthew Brady's Washington, D.C. studio in 1849. There's a photo of the Big Three in a Liverdier Palace courtyard on February 11, 1945. A chimpanzee is balancing on a rope, holding an umbrella. There's also a puppy there. This was in the early 20th century. Jamie Lee Curtis in the 1980s versus now. Little fishermen, all of 5 of them, are out on the water. They're in a boat and they're all smiling. They've got fishing poles. It looks like a fun day. Consolidated B-24, H Liberator, serial number 42-95379, extra Joker, in the last photo taken of her on the 23rd of August 1944. She belonged to the 725th Bombardment Squadron, 451st Bombardment Group, 15th US Air Force. A young chimpanzee, Kokomo Jr., is drinking orange juice from a glass. He's getting it straight from the refrigerator in his owner's apartment in New York City in 1955. Bruce Willis, 1989. The US Pacific Fleet is positioning for a battle during the Marshall Islands campaign around 1944. Berlin, in ruins, July 1945. Waiting on the New York City subway in 1958. Check out the family's new television set, 1949. A man is standing on an ice floe in Grisslehamn, Sweden in 1922. The narrative begins. Before the Civil War, Lebanon was a nation known for its beautiful Mediterranean coast and vibrant culture. It was often called the Switzerland of the East, a nod to its banking and financial sectors. This period, spanning the 1950s and the 1960s, was a time of relative stability and prosperity. The capital city, Beirut, was a hub for trade, tourism and intellectual exchange, attracting people from all over the world. The country was a melting pot, with a diverse population of Christians, Muslims and Druze coexisting. However, beneath the surface, tensions brewed between different religious and political groups. These would ultimately lead to the devastating Civil War. Tippi Hedren, who's famous for her part in The Birds, and her husband, Noel Marshall, lived with their daughter, Melanie Griffith, and a 400-pound lion named Neil. It was 1971. Williamson County, Illinois, in October of 1975. There's a sign warning about a prisoner who recently escaped from the Marion Federal Penitentiary. The dam structure is seen from a skip on a 150-ton cableway. Hoover Dam, Boulder City, Nevada, United States, 1933. 1893, Mohandas Gandhi, attorney at law. Yerevan. There was a statue of Iosif Stalin from 1950 to 1962, and then the Mother Armenia Monument from 1967 to now. Three-Horned Sheep, Washington, D.C., September 3, 1920. The British welcome Yuri Gagarin, London, 1961. A milkman is on skis in England in 1962. Abby Stockton, the first all-female gym owner in California. She organised the first sanctioned weightlifting contest in 1947. She's holding a man over her shoulders with ease. She was 5'2", 115 pounds. This was around 1946. A woman was caught selling illegal alcohol during Prohibition in the United States. This happened in Minneapolis in 1924. American strongman Ben Darwin demonstrates the power of his hair by moving a car weighing about 2.5 tons. New York, 1925. Alphonse Bertillon, who lived from 1853 to 1914, was a well-known French police officer and a biometrics researcher. He's famous for inventing the mugshot in 1883. The American aircraft carrier USS Franklin, which was nicknamed Big Ben, is listing with crew on deck. This was on March 19, 1945. The unknown warrior lies in state in Westminster Abbey, the final resting place of kings and queens of England and the UK, November 7, 1920. So, the dangers of having long hair in the machine shop. One could get hair caught in a rotating machine like a lathe. This could lead to serious injury. It's important to be aware of this potential hazard. King Faisal II of Iraq during the 1940s. School lunch in the 1980s with cheese pizza, corn, a soft pretzel with mustard, mixed fruit cup and chocolate milk. Chairs are an extravagance. Grandad, we need you for a second. Amelia Earhart, born in 1897, was an American aviation pioneer. She set many records and wrote best-selling books about her flying experiences. Earhart was the first female aviator to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. She received the US Distinguished Flying Cross for this achievement. In 1937, during an attempt to fly around the world, she disappeared over the central Pacific Ocean. Her fate remains a mystery. Pope John Paul II blesses his assailant in jail in 1983. Pablo Picasso in Paris, 1939. A demonstration of how to apply street makeup is being done in a home management class at Woodrow Wilson High School in Washington, D.C. Esther Bubley took the photo in October of 1943. Miss Cigar Queen contestants, Los Angeles, 1937. This is one of the first canned beer vending machines. It's from London, 1937. Edinburgh Castle, Scotland, 1885. The exploded Budapest chain bridge and the frozen Danube, January 15th, 1945. Police are storming barricades in the Latin Quarter of Paris in May 1968. Goggles Girl, July 1942. She's a welding trainee at the Work Projects Administration Vocational School in Washington, D.C. British Royal Air Force members land on mainland Greece and share their early morning rations with a little Greek boy during World War II. The woman realizes that the body covered with the blanket is her mother's. Jacqueline Lee Kennedy Onassis is the wife of the 35th President of the United States, John F. Kennedy. Brigitte Bardot dancing on a rooftop overlooking Paris in 1952. Civil rights activist James Zwerg after being beaten by a white mob in Alabama in 1961. Muhammad Ali and Pele, 1977. Young John F. Kennedy, right after he graduated from Harvard in the summer of 1940. Angus Barbieri. I won't eat until I lose weight, says the obese man. He lasted 382 days, and doctors noticed something unexpected. 1966 to 1965. A United States medic is giving first aid to a wounded German SS soldier. This happened in France in 1944. Ask Jeeves, the search engine from 1996. (1956 to 2025) Cecil Williams. Same man, same fight. Saddam Hussein goes out shirtless in the 1980s. A portrait of two whistles, Ishichush of the Crow people, taken in 1908. Charles Manson's initial booking photo after the Tate LaBianca murders, 1969. Actress Janet Leigh with her daughter, Jamie Lee Curtis, on September 29, 1979. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. He was born in 1859. He was a Scottish writer and physician. He's most known for creating the character Sherlock Holmes. An experimental floating tank designed for moving wounded soldiers across small water obstacles dates back to 1916. Marilyn Monroe, not yet famous, is taking care of two babies. She's brushing one of the baby's hair. This was in 1947. A shaven, barefooted Jewish lawyer, Dr. Michael Siegel, is under SS custody. He's holding a sign that says, "I will never again complain to the police." He's being marched across Stasis Square in Bavaria on March 10th, 1933. A woman puts a mask on her dog during the Great Smog London, 1952. There are two girls at their high school lockers. They're wearing bell-bottoms. It's the 1970s. The nose of a new Cadillac sticks out through a brick wall. This was in the USA in 1948.